Hello and welcome to this training on My School Receipts. I previously had a training on simply making receipts through the fee sheet by typing in a name, choosing your student, P for paid. C for charge doesn't mean charge card, it means I'm going to create an AR. This textbook rental fee, as you can see here on the left, is already an accounts receivable. They've already charged that. But if I wanted to charge something to the account for some reason, I would check that C column. And if they're a waiver approved student, which would be done according to your school's protocol, you could check the W column. So the P column is for something they want to pay. C is for charge, meaning create an AR. And W column is for a waived item. And when they're ready to pay, you can see the total due is over here on the right-hand column, $25. You can enter the cash amount, or you can click the card button here. Ask the person if it's a credit or debit card. If you're going to enter it manually, you're going to have to hit the credit card button and then follow the prompts on your screen. I'm going to put in a 25 cash here and post. And here is my receipt showing. And I can simply click the print button down here on the bottom right hand side. I can save it. Or if I had multiple pages, as you would a report, you could select no pages, just check the one page, or select all pages, whatever you want to do. Today I'm just going to click print. So you make your receipts throughout the day. You can either go to receipts, fee sheet like I did, and type in the student's name. You can do the student control center and type in the student's name and then choose their fee sheet there if you would like to. Or you can simply choose receipts, receipt register, new receipt, and just start entering the information here, the name, the comment, the amount, choosing the account that you want the money to go into. The comment up above will carry down below. However, if you have multiple lines, you can double click on a line and change that comment for that line, and you can run your receipt that way. I do want to show you how to edit a receipt. Let's say you have a receipt. Okay, so you're looking for a receipt. You can type the receipt number up above, hit tab. Okay, I accidentally receipted this to the wrong student. Okay, we're pretending, right? So what I can do is highlight the receipt that's wrong, assuming that the amount is the same. Edit receipt header. Click on that button. Don't worry about the code. I'm going to change it to the student that it should have been receipted to. Instead of Corbin Samuel, it should have been, let's see what I come up with. Dacia Smith. Okay, I'm going to say select, comment, wrong student. There are other fields that you can change in this edit header section. You can change the teacher's name and other information here. Reason for change, well, I already put that up above. I guess this would have been a different comment here. Would have been anyways, I'm gonna leave that alone. Post changes, and now instead of the receipt being written to that other student, it's now all the information has been credited to this student. So let's look at that. Dacia Smith, now all of this information from this receipt should be in that student's student controls. So let's go there. And there's that receipt number. You can see that receipt 1700045 that we changed the name on. It's up here at the top. All of that detail is in that student's student control center now and taken out of the other students that it was accidentally receipted to. Let's look at a different scenario. Let's say I receipted to the wrong account. What we'll do there is not change the edit receipt header, but we will click this change button here. So I've got the receipt that needs to be changed here, and I'm going to click change. And remember, we got here in the receipt, enter edit receipt register. Okay, so we've got some choices here. We can void this line, which means just one line needs to be changed, or void all lines. If this receipt hadn't been deposited yet, and I just wanted to void the entire receipt, I would probably use void all lines and just post it. But once a receipt is deposited, you cannot void it. You can change it. Okay, so let's say that instead of this $4 social studies fees for a psychology mask, it was supposed to be something else. So I'm going to highlight that and void this line. That takes the $4, which was added, credited to that social studies account, and it's taken it out. And instead, that $4 should be in, let's say, art. I'm just using examples. So now we've got the same total receipt amount, but we've changed the funds from going to psychology mask to the art fees. Well, I'll probably want to change this wrong student comment here too. Materials, we'll just put something there. Okay, and I'm going to post it. It wants to know why I'm changing this. Wrong account used. Okay. Make it a meaningful comment so it makes sense later. All right, so now I've got $4 taken out of the social studies and put into art. This line is voided. I should have been doing it in the same period that the receipt was created in, but for this example, I did not. Well, let's talk about this. We will be talking about exporting these deposit information to an external accounting system here in just a moment. And let's think about this. Well, I had already exported this deposit in period 1, and now I've made a change in period 6. How is NextGen or my other external accounting system going to know that these changes were made? It really should be the art fees that's credited, not psychology mask, and that money should come out. Well, many of you weren't aware about this step that I'm going to be showing you shortly, and so you have been making manual changes, journal entries in your NextGen or other external accounting system. I'm going to show you an easier way to do that. Okay, so I've showed you how to change a name on a receipt, and I've showed you how to change an account or a line item on a receipt. And then, of course, you've got your end of day. You make deposits, right? And many of you export your deposits to an external accounting system. So let's go through those steps for those who might not know how to do that. You've clicked cash check deposit. Here's that one receipt here. I usually print deposit. And then you print. I'm not going to print that right now. And then you post your deposit. If you have credit card deposits, they're deposited right here. If you use card swipe, you would print and post that deposit. That will bring you to your credit cards in Genico screen. If you're using Paywire, it'll automatically bring you here. And it will open up your current batch. I don't have my card machine hooked in right now. And you will verify that those transactions are in your batch for today, and you will close your batch daily. If you're using My School Fees, you will go to that Paywire Ingenico site. You can do that through this little shortcut right here, actually. Paywire Online. And you will log in to look at your settled batch. Bill just had a training on that recently. After you've got that printed out and you know what items are included in your settled batch, you'll click on your My School Fees. You'll go here. You will only select the items that are included in that deposit, and you will post your deposit. Then you'll be showing that My School Fees deposit in this deposit register. This deposit register shows all of your deposits. This is the summary portion of the deposit on the left-hand side here. You can see that it's got the deposit number 1700007, the date, the receipt total, the deposit total. You can see that this is a cash deposit, and these are the receipt numbers. In this deposit on the right-hand side, we can see the actual receipts, who they're from or to, within this deposit. Okay, let's go through exporting some deposits. I highlight the deposit I'm going to export to my external accounting system, and I click this Export This Deposit. So this is deposit number 1700009. I select Next Gen. That changes the title of my export file. I won't have to do that each time. It'll default to that now. If you're using a different system, you'll of course have to change who your export system is. Normally you won't see the number 10 up here after the ACTW and the export path. That's just because I am running both version 9.5 and version 10 on my computer. You'll always want to see a green bar here under the export ID column. If you see a red line, that means that line's not going to import properly into NextGen. You may as well just stop at this point if you see a red in this column. Okay, so it's all green. Green is good. I'm going to click Generate Journal Entry Step 1. I'm just going to scan really quick. Yep, my deposit's for $201. That looks good. I'm going to run step number 2. And then I'm going to export the file. You're only going to need to select these options the first time you do this export, and after that you can just leave it alone. But you can see where the file is going to go. It's going to go to my CTES ACTW export folder, and the file is going to be called NextGen Deposit. It's got the deposit number, it's got the date, and it's got the time. This matters, especially when you have to void an export and redo it. You'll want to, then you'll need to look at the time if that's the case. Normally, just save. Great, export is complete. The data is in this location. That does not mean it's in NextGen yet. I'm going to click OK. All right, so I do not have a NextGen connection, but as I've showed you folks that before, you're going to go into your general ledger, reoccurring journal entries, and you're going to browse, and you're going to look in that location that it went into, that export folder on your CTES ACTW, and you're going to find that export file, and you're going to hit that enter traffic light, and if all goes well, the pages will flip by and everybody's happy. If I need to look at my journal entries again, I can click that. I did that before. Browse exports here down at the bottom. So this is in your receipts, make deposit, or end of day deposit. Click on that and I can see I've only done one export, but you would see one for each one of those deposits that you've exported. If you ever need to make a change in a deposit so that you can export it again and import it into NextGen, this is generally when there's a problem. Maybe you've used an inactive account by accident or something is wrong. You'll need to locate the deposit that you need to redo and void the export to export it again. Before I do that, I'll show you why you need to do that. This is the one that we already exported. Let's say we made a change and we're going to try to export it again. We can see that it's not going to work. It's all red here, and that's because it's already showing as being exported. So we go to that browse exports. We find the one that we redid. We're not going to look over at this left document number so much. We're going to look under the comment and look for that deposit. Now, if you've done it several times, you'll need to make sure that they've all been voided. Remember, I'm not voiding the deposit. I'm just voiding the deposit journal entry. Yes, I really want to do that. Now it shows that it's voided. Now when I go to export it again, oh good, it's green, how I want it to look. Okay. So let's talk about this. You're doing your deposits throughout the month. You're exporting your deposits to NextGen. But you've made those little changes. You've made those little changes like somebody's done a class change. You have edited a receipt. You have made a journal entry. All that extra stuff you need to communicate to NextGen. All those changes. Well, there's a step here that so many of you have told us you aren't aware exists. So let's think about this. There's the file end of day processes. You're going to do backups daily, I hope, or at least regularly and whenever you do anything critical. And you're also going to make your deposits daily. Well, at the end of the month, you change your posting period, right? But you also have this export revenue changes to external system. What this does is, here I'll show you, exports the transactions that were not part of a deposit. This includes void and replace, journal entries, class changes, etc. This routine should be run after all the deposits have been processed. So you've come in Monday morning, the month changed on the weekend, you've done all of your exports for the deposits that were to be done in that period or whatever the case may be. It's the ending of the period. You've exported all your deposits and you process this. And all of the items that have been done, that have been changed, are going to be sent to this file, just like we did with the export deposits. We're going to run R1, R2, and R3. And we're creating a file. It's going to the same location, but it doesn't have a deposit name. It's got a date and a time. And I'm saving it. And you import that into NextGen just as you would a deposit export. Now, some of you have been saying, well, I've been doing it manually all this time, and now I didn't even know about this. What should I do? If I do this now, it's going to double enter into NextGen. So here's what we suggest you do. The end of this month, go ahead and make any manual changes that you have been, like you have been in the past, but also go ahead and do that export process like I just showed you. Remember, you're not importing it yet, you're just exporting it. But don't import that one into NextGen. Instead, just leave it alone And beginning this next month, then instead of doing any manual changes next month, you'll be all caught up to date for the year. Any changes that have been made this fiscal year, any changes. And then you can start using this end of month export revenue changes to external system to import any changes into NextGen rather than having to do it manually. Make sense? Alrighty. I hope that you found this short video helpful. We've gone over how to make a receipt, how to change a receipt, who it's receipted to by editing the receipt header here. You can always reprint any receipt by just highlighting it and clicking this print receipt button. You can change your receipt by using the change button, using void this line or void all lines and replacing it. Currently you cannot change the tender on a receipt. I've showed you how to export your deposits after you've made them by using this export this deposit. I've showed you how to browse your exports here. I've showed you the end of month process. I haven't showed you how to change posting period. Why would you have to do that manually? Why wouldn't the system automatically do that? Well, sometimes the month changes over the weekend and you want to have your deposits in the correct period for bank reconciliation or just for your NextGen records to be correct. And so you might want to receipt first or do your MySchoolFees imports first and then change the period. That's why. So it will prompt you if you have undeposited receipts in a period. That wasn't the case here, but okay. And you're coming up to the end of the calendar year. So if you have any questions, give us a call. We're so glad to help you, and I hope that you found this helpful. Let me know if I've left some critical piece of information out that you wished you knew about. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you later. This is Melly, and we appreciate your business. Thank you. Bye-bye.